Hey, what is up, guys? We have a rematch here between me and my friend Steve. Steve is on the right playing his Chaos Fairies, which I did not know when we started this match, but I am on the left playing Diva Hero. Once again, I'm still kind of fresh to the Diva Hero deck. I'm trying to get better at it. So we start off with classic Prodigy Kai's play, and he drops the Herald. Again, I did not know what he was playing. That is normally a very safe play, but we get smacked in the face with a Herald, which is unfortunate. I think I just pass it to him. I don't want to set a back row in case it's a Raikou, and I think I also have Gores in my hand maybe at this point in time. But we're about to take some solid damage to the face right here. He gets in there for 14 and then 19. I take it both and drop the Gores on the Card Trooper, which I think is probably the right play. But yeah, again, this fairy deck, man, I'm still getting used to playing against it. It has, like 3 different hand traps. It has Honest, Herald, and Battle Fader, and then you have to keep track of their graveyard for 4 fairies, or the ability to get 4 fairies in the grave, and it's just a lot to keep track of. Yeah, so it's really hard for me. I think with the Diva Hero deck, it's all about knowing when to make your push, and the deck can play very methodically and then wait till the perfect time to make a big push. But the thing is, like, once you use your gas, it's kind of hard to come back if your opponent's able to stop your big push. And between the Honest, the Heralds, and then even the Battle Fader, the Chaos Fairy deck is potentially very good at punishing you for making a push at the wrong time. So I think right here is an example of when I make a push at the wrong time, or maybe it's the turn after this one. I'm not sure. Oh, I think it's a turn after this one, yeah. So here I start to run over his monsters. And another thing that I'm still learning is like when to stop attacking the recruiters, because I attack over this recruiter and he summons another, what's it called? I'm blanking out on that card's name. Shining Angel, there we go. He summons another Shining Angel. He's already got more than 4 fairies in the grave, so we should be good there. And at this point, I attack over the Shining Angel, but maybe I should just leave that on the field and then force him to crash it next turn if he wants to search something from his deck, because now he just searches for Honest and ends up adding it to his hand. Optionally, he could have searched D-Alec or DD Warrior Lady, but I think I'm better off just leaving the Shining Angel on his field and letting him waste his battle phase next turn. So that's something I'm still learning about as well. Okay, so like I said, he grabs the Honest. I set one back row and pass it over to him. His deck is a little bit slippery there. So he immediately bounces the Honest back to his hand, summons the Cyber Dragon, and I mean, he has the Honest, so he's gonna try to attack over. What does he try to attack over? Oh, interesting. He tries to attack over what's it called? Stratos. Maybe because he has, I don't know, Caius in his hand for the Gores main phase 2. So I just Mirror Force that because I don't want to deal with the Cyber Dragon and the Honest, because he's gonna run over the Stratos for free, and then I still have to deal with Honest after that, and who knows, maybe he even has a Caius, but he ends up just summoning the Cyber Valley. And here is exactly where I make a push where maybe I shouldn't have. He has 3 cards in his hand, and I know one of them is Honest, so I'm like, okay, you only have 2 cards left in your hand. I'm just gonna force one of those cards to be Battle Fader and try to push for game right here. So I bounce the Cyber Valley back to his hand with Brio, and then I try to go for game, but he does have the Cyber Valley, so one of the other 2 cards was Battle Fader. And here's where I make a misplay that loses me the game and the match pretty much. I totally should have pitched my last card to bounce the Battle Fader to his hand, because he top decks this Caius, which gets him right back into the game. There was probably no reason for me to leave the Battle Fader on the field like that. I thought the next turn he would just summon the Cyber Valley and banish them both or something like that. And I didn't want to pitch the Prodigy in my hand in case I draw another Caius, but that was a really big misplay and ends up losing me this game pretty much. Because had I bounced that Battle Fader, he would have been forced to just normal summon Cyber Valley in attack position, and then I could just bounce it back again with the card I drew using Brio. So now it's not looking so hot. And then he flips the Sangan. My back row is Torrential, I think, and I was really hoping that the face down was a Raikou or a Battle Recruiter so that I could Torrential, but then it ends up being Sangan, and I think I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm forced to Torrential right there, but I ended up doing it. Maybe I could have just taken one more attack and saved this Torrential for him summoning another monster. That's probably a misplay as well. But I was kind of tilted from the Battle Fader and then not bouncing it back. So the Prodigy that I kept in my hand does end up being useful because I do draw a Caius, and the game is pretty close at this point. Like, I could potentially get back into the game right now, not too far off. But then he does have the Brain Control and he has the Honest from before, so he could just go for a game right there. So live and learn. Okay, moving on to game 2. What did I side against this? I think I sided quite a few cards. I sided Soul Release, I sided Light Imprisoning Mirror. I also sided in Deck Devastation Virus because that card is very good against this deck. A lot of their cards are under 1500 attack. All of the recruiters, 1500 attack or less rather. All the recruiters, DD Warrior Lady, Heralds, all that stuff. So DDV is, like, I think really good against this deck. Probably, this might be like the best deck for DDV. Maybe other than like Plants. But we start with the Feature Fusion, which is so nice. Put the Mally and the Snowman Eater, which I also sided. I sided out the Treeborn for Snowman Eater just to deal with like Christie and stuff like that. Go for a first turn Stardust play here, which is always pretty nice. Stardust to, you know, protect your Feature Fusion. And we have quite a few back row, I think. So we set 3 back row? No, okay, just 2. I was debating setting, I think, Reinforcements of the Army as a bluff, but I was just decided to just keep that in case something bad happens here. So we're chilling. So he just passes, which tells me, I don't know what it tells me. Like, he's representing Gores, or maybe Battle Fader, but we're getting pretty far ahead now. Summon Stratos, add the evil guy. I could have also summoned Armageddon and put Plague into the graveyard. Maybe that could be good, so I can make Catastor with the Spine Gilman. But he drops this Trag, and I end up getting punished really, really hard here. I should have thought about Trag and maybe attacked with the highest first, but then if he has scores, that's also bad. So it's like a 50-50 toss-up. But things start to go really south really quickly here because his deck does main deck, you know, 3 level 8s. So he's actually going to get the most value out of this Trag Snatch Steal effect. Takes my Stardust. Now I'm really, really screwed because I have a Mirror Force. But if I use Mirror Force on Stardust, then he goes so plus because he's basically outing my Stardust and Mirror Force just by pitching a Christia. So I'm debating whether I should Mirror Force this Stardust, or just let it go through, and the next turn when my Ab-Zero comes out, I can crash the Ab-Zero with the Stardust and clear his field. So I'm basically just debating whether I want to keep my Mirror Force or I want to keep my Ab-Zero, and ultimately I think I decide to keep my Mirror Force to save it for Christia or something like that. So that's not great. And then the added benefit of this is, like, if he sets a Recruiter or something like that, then I can crash the Ab-Zero and clear the Recruiter as well. We MST his back row in the end phase, which is good because Book of Moon is like an out to Ab-Zero. If I attacked with the Ab-Zero and tried to crash it, he could have Book of Mooned it, and then summon his Caius next turn to banish it without triggering its effect. So that was a pretty heads-up play on his part, or heads-up attempt on his part, but luckily we do have the MST. So We finally clear his board, but with that one Trag and the Christia, he was able to basically clear my Ab-Zero Stardust and one of my monsters, so that did not really feel like a super favorable trade to me. And here he's going to go even more plus with another good trade. He's going to summon Dialk, use his effect, he hits the monster, which, okay, great, and then he's going to crash it with my Stratos. I'm like, oh man, I can't Mirror Force here because he's going to get a plus. So I let him crash it, which does not feel good, and he adds the Christie back to his hand, so this game is not looking so hot for me. It's been a series of unfavorable trades, despite my really strong opening. Also, feel free, guys, like, if you see a better play at any point in time, feel free to let me know what I could have done better. Obviously, in Game 1, I called out some of my blatant misplays, but if there's anything else you guys see that I'm missing here, I'm really open to the feedback. So I think here it's like I could do something, but I don't really want to jump the gun, and I would rather wait for him to do something and then react to it at this point in time, because I don't want to get punished. And I also have a Heavy Storm in my hand, and I want to get value out of this Mirror Force, so I'm basically just looking for an opportunity to use this Mirror Force so I can follow it with Heavy the next turn. So I use it on DD Warrior Lady, which is not the best, but not the worst thing to use it on. And then I know he has to have Solemn because he's setting 3 back row, and I don't put him on Starlight, or I've never seen Starlight in his deck. So we just slapped on the Heavy and burn him for 2250. Bait out the Judgment right there. And then I think I just pass it up. I'm pretty ahead in life. He's pretty low in life. Oh, but he's got the he's got the Call of the Honda for Christia, which is such a sneaky, really low effort but high payoff play, right? 2800 beater, opponent cannot special summon. You can even chain Call of the Haunted to things like Miracle Fusion, so that's a really nice play. But luckily I do have the brain control to just attack him for game. He's at 2250 and Christie's at 28, so we just steal the game, brain for game, classic move. And then we go on to game 3. So game 3 was a pretty good game, I think. I might have made some suboptimal plays. I don't think I made any blatant misplays, but we'll see if that ends up being true or not. That's one of the reasons I love making these videos. Like, they're as helpful for me as I hope they are for you guys. I find it super helpful to rewatch my gameplay and analyze if I could have made a better play. Okay, so we start off with Spirit Reaper going direct. I love that. Spirit Reaper is so fucking good. Holy shit. Like, this Spirit Reaper is gonna bait out one thing or another, right? It's either gonna rip a card from his hand, it's gonna bait out a Herald of Orange Light, or it's gonna bait out a Battle Fader, right? So Spirit Reaper is so good, man. He summons the Cyber Valley, and all I need to do is just attack the Cyber Valley to bait it out. So Spirit Reaper already putting in immense amount of work. I think what I'm thinking about here is, I don't think it's relevant for right now, but I think I'm just trying to check if Cyber Valley banishes itself the monster as cost or part of the effect. And by the way it's worded, I'm pretty sure Cyber Valley banishes as cost. You guys can let me know if that's correct or not. Okay, so we just bait out the Cyber Valley and set 1 card. I think I set a Gilman, and my goal is to tribute that Gilman for Caius that I have in my hand. Okay, so already the Spirit Reaper has ripped a card, got rid of his Cyber Valley, and baited a Battle Fader, so we're doing pretty hot. Main phase 2, tribute the Gilman, banish the Battle Fader. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Looking at his hand, he's got a pretty solid hand though. He's got Brain Control Caius, that's always really good. Oh man, he just topped a D-Alk. He's got Christia, he's got Herald. His hand is absolutely stacked right here. So here I thought I made a really sick play. He tries to brain control the Caius, and I deck Devi, which would have been absolutely crippling if that worked, because it would have discarded his Herald, his Honest, and his D-Alk, and would have stopped his brain control. I think I probably just would have won at that point if that resolved, but he did have the Solemn Judgment, which is very fortunate. I end up deprisoning his Caius because I'm reading that he has a Caius in his hand to convert my Caius, so I don't want him to be able to main phase to tribute and banish my what's it called, my Spirit Reaper, and burn me. So I opt to just depris my own Caius just to get it off the field, which I think is probably the right play there. Otherwise he does what, 2100 damage plus another 1000, 31, and gets rid of my Spirit Reaper, so that's not ideal. Here I go for Card Trooper. I don't want to give him a monster to tribute for Caius, and I mill absolutely horribly. 3 spells, never want to see that with Card Trooper, and also 1-ofs as well. That sucks so bad. And here I just set a couple in case he's on Morphing Jar. I don't know. I don't think he plays Morphing Jar, but you know, I have PTSD from attacking to Morphing Jar and discarding my whole hand and going neg compared to my opponent, you know, relative to my opponent. So I just set the back row because I'm going to set it anyway. Hit over his Nova Summoner. He gets out D-Alk. And I think I just turned the Spirit Reaper into defense mode in May phase 2. But man, if that deck Devi resolved, then this game would have been so easy. But alas, here we are. Okay, so he D-Alks. I'm just checking how D-Alk's effect works. I think it's like similar to Card Trooper in that you can banish the top for cost. And again, I'm just wondering if my Light Imprisoning Mirror would work here, but he's gonna banish it for cost, it would seem. You know, thinking about this, I think I don't know what I'm doing. I think I misplayed. So he has another D-Alk. Yeah, I misplayed really hard. Okay, that's part of the benefit of watching this. I could totally just activate Light Imprisoning Mirror right here and reduce their attack points, and then you'll see what I mean by the misplay, because I make some weird plays just to get rid of these D-Alks, and I don't think I activated Light Imprisoning Mirror, which watching this back, I'm like, why the fuck didn't I do that? I let him kill the Card Trooper just to get the draw. I could have saved myself some light points by using Light Impris, but I didn't want to reveal that I had it yet. And then here I end up going for a weird Diva play. I think I make Cataster with the Spirit Reaper to start outing these D-Alks and not worry about Honest. And I have no idea, watching this back, why I didn't activate my Light Imprisoning Mirror right here to stop D-Alk's effect. I think I might have just forgotten that it activates in the graveyard, but that is a hard misplay. Yeah, just really bad misplay right there. So luckily he only gets 1 D-Alk effect off of that, so it's not super bad, but I definitely should have activated Light Imprisoning Mirror. And now he has 4 fairies in grave after tributing that D-Alk. So here's where I activate the Light Imprisoning Mirror. Like, why the fuck didn't I do that before? That's my bad. He's smart and he puts the Chrissy in defense mode to play around Mirror Force, which ends up being really good for him. Luckily, not activating the Light Imprisoning didn't really change the outcome of the game too much. But this is actually my first time ever playing Light Imprisoning Mirror. Or, is that true? It's not true. But it's my first time playing Light Imprisoning Mirror in this deck, I suppose. I'm only running 1 in the side deck, and I just put that in the side deck recently. So, I'm not super experienced with Light Imprisoning Mirror, especially not against the Fairy matchup. And here, I'm like, what's my options here? I have a Caius in my hand and a Snowman Eater. I can tribute the Diva for Caius, but I'm pretty sure he has Herald because he thought about the Catastor effect before, so that kind of telegraphed Herald. So this is definitely going to get heralded. Optionally, I could have set the Snowman Eater and then bait out the Herald with Snowman Eater and hope that the Diva lives if he doesn't have another normal summonable monster. But either way, summon Caius, set Snowman Eater. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. So now I'm on the defense, and it's not looking good for me. He tributes for Caius, man. Okay, yeah, I'm getting my ass whooped here. Tributes for Caius, banishes my monster. The crazy part is my hand ends up being Rhoda, Miracle Fusion, and Miracle Fusion, and Mind Control, but then he brings back the Christia in my standby phase, and I have to just scoop it up right here because there's no way I can win from this. So that's the video. Thanks for watching, guys.